Is he going to attack some potential perceived weakness at the very least regarding Jacinda Ardern and her policy?
Look, I think what we've seen the last week was very strategic. There was no point in the National Party coming out and attacking Jacinda and raining on her parade when everybody's saying, isn't she wonderful?
And then they got...
No, but that's quite deliberate. So you don't go out and try and badmouth somebody, you congratulate them, you get on with the job. I think the issue is, what people will start to focus on is, Jacinda may be the new leader, it's still the same old team. Right, that team of incompetence compared to Bill English. I'm talking about the Labor Party.
You're quite right about
very few who have been actually ever run anything.
That's
right.
The point. It's new. It's fresh.
Yeah, but
these people have been in Parliament a long time.
This is our country, and we've got people who actually have done a bloody good job. And why throw that all away?
Well, I think that Bill English will be seen by many as a safe pair of hands.
Correct.
So much change is taking place at the moment. He represents stability for many voters. He's a proven finance minister. He's now proving himself as prime minister. So I don't think we can discount him just because he doesn't maybe have the charisma of
John Key,
Ardern,
or John Key,
or a David Longy, for instance. Doesn't have that.
Sure.
But nevertheless, he has other strengths, such as his ability to present economic policy that Labor might be scratching.
Okay, we will pause there for the time being. We just heard from David Parker then. He said, let's say it's 2 cents per 1,000 litres. Why wasn't there detail when Labor announced this?
No,
hang on. Give Michelle a chance. You'll get another chance in a moment.
Because it's completely wrong. Let me give you some facts. I don't care whether this has been the last policy for the last few years. They haven't done their homework. On the current rate, what he's talking about, 2 cents for these particular producers for the wine industry would impose a cost of 480 million every year. Do you know how much more each apple would cost? Each apple would cost $2.80.
And
each litre of craft beer would cost another $1.50. And this is because they haven't done their homework. Everything in New Zealand we grow takes a lot of water. Each litre of wine takes 960 litres of water. It's not silly. They haven't done their homework. This is a tax.
Hang on.
This is a tax on people Labor doesn't like.
Let's focus on dairy farmers for a moment. How much is this going to cost dairy farmers?
I'm happy to focus on dairy farmers. I don't know what the milk production is, but I know that for every litre of milk, it will cost an extra $4.
Well, how does that work, Michelle?
Because what you do is you look at how much water goes into the production of these things, right?
Okay, you've done some sums, I've done some sums as well. So David Parker says the tax would be 2 cents per 1,000 litres. Stephen Joyce says it would cost dairy farmers at the lower end about $50,000 each. If that is true, then dairy farmers on average are putting 2.5 billion litres of irrigated water on their farms.
Look, all I know is that they haven't done their homework.
No,
right?
but those sums don't add up as well.
They haven't done their homework. They haven't looked at how much water New Zealand takes. They're trying to tax rain. They're trying to say when the rain hits the ground, it belongs to the government.
No, they are focusing on irrigators.
And they're being very picky. It's the people they don't like. Let me tell you something else. The national government is the only one that has ever measured our waterways. No other government did. That's why we know what the quality is, because the national government put in place measures and standards. So now we know what we're dealing with. This hasn't happened in the last 9 years. It's happened over hundreds of years, and now we know what the issue is.
This is just silly.
No, it's not silly. They haven't done their homework.
It's like Hawk had used the figures which I think you are trying to pretend to use. That would mean you have 1 million litres of water to do a cabbage. That's why they come up with $18.
Rubbish.
It's all nonsense.
Rubbish. It's not. They haven't done their homework.
Michelle, I know you're trying to, but you're shoveling it uphill. No one believes anything you're saying. To say that to put a a less than 1
You've got no idea.
Michelle, hang on.
Leader, and suddenly an apple's going to cost another $2.
All right.
You have got no idea how much water it takes to produce an apple.
Michelle and Matt, we're going to stop there. We're going down a rabbit hole. Raymond, I want to bring you in here. Is this a politically popular move? Because we have heard so much about water quality issues in New Zealand of late.
Yes, it is a popular move. There will be many, particularly urban dwellers, who are very concerned about such issues, of course, as the purity of our waters or impurity of our waterways. But also they'll be concerned about the water bottling issue and export of New Zealand high-quality water. What we heard today was David Parker speaking to his constituency, and we heard the Minister speaking to his constituency. I think personally that if we go beyond the water bottling issue, it's going to be a fiendishly difficult policy to implement. Because you need to achieve consistency, you have to make sure that it's fair, and it has to be affordable. And for that reason, if you're thinking about different regions, different quality of water, you know, the needs of farmers, the needs of horticulturists, the needs of market gardeners, it's going to be a very difficult policy to implement. But I think the spirit is there. It's just a question of how to achieve it.
There was one little interesting piece and something Stephen Joyce said this morning. He said he would support water bottlers being charged. Now, I don't think that has been a national position in the past. Certainly that's a change from National's position of 6 months ago.
Well, look, here's the flaw in the Labor argument. They are saying...
No, we're talking about national
here. No, but this is relevant.
Yeah.
Well, this is why. Because each regional council can decide whatever it wants to charge a water bottler. Now, the Labor Party's talking about taking all this tax...
That's for the resource consent.
Yes, and giving it back to the regional council. Why set up a new bureaucracy if actually they want to tax water bottlers more? The regional councils can do that tomorrow.
Right. We will be back. The panel has the last word after the break. 6 weeks out from the election, and the political landscape is shifting quickly. We will talk about the week in politics next. Time for our political panel's hits and misses of the week. Raymond, we will begin with you.
Well, my miss of the week is the Green Party. We've heard a lot about Materia, of course, but I think it was all the events around her leaving the party, in fact, the leadership, and also the two MPs leaving, was very, very badly managed by the Green Party, and we have to blame James Shaw to some extent for that. When he threatened to frog march the two MPs out of the party, I thought that was completely excessive, considering they have been long-standing members of the party. And I just felt that here we had a situation which could have been much better managed. They were, in a sense, authors of their own misfortune.
Should he have allowed Kennedy Graham to stand?
Well, I think they should have brought... there was a strong argument for bringing Kennedy Graham back in and into the tent. To leave him out, as they've decided to do, does sound to me as if, you know, he's being punished very severely.
Well, that's
for
exactly
what he did.
what's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I just have to agree with Ray in terms of the Greens. I think James Shaw has looked like a possum caught in the headlights. He's changed his mind several times. He's made some bad misjudgments, doing press conferences late at night and having to change his mind the next morning. I wouldn't be surprised if the Greens go under 5%.
Matt McCartan.
Well, that's more of a hope on your side. I think